hope everybody is ready for today's edition. My name is Kevin Taylor. This is Loud Silence Radio. We're getting ready to start the show at 10 a.m. This is what I call the familiarization episode, 2 minutes. I just want people to know that we're going to be coming on air. We're going to be doing a full show. We're talking about the data theft in Ghana, across Ghana, other African countries. We have enlightened people coming on the show today to talk to us about data. Today, I have an editorial. Yes, I have an editorial for the media in Ghana. It's a packed show. This is just when we were kids, they see comedies. This is just the comedies. I'm going to come back to start the show officially on Loud Silence Radio. My name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor.
This is a question everybody has been asked one time. Free that differentiates the people that drink tea from the people that sow gari. Last I checked, we're all people. You can't sit there, they say. It's reserved, it's well deserved. Criminals, the one without money. When I speak out of turn, they ask me, who the hell do you think you are? I tell you who the heaven I think I am. I'm the voice of one crying in our nation, Hosanna. I'm the beginning of a new era, the end of injustice and the beginning of power. I'm a skyscraper of peace and a trailblazer of unity. I'm young, I'm vibrant, I'm strong, I'm intelligent. I'm a million microchips, I'm definitely for keeps. I've got the energy they lack and courage back to back. I'm a story to be told and a wonder to behold. I'm more than a conqueror, greater than a governor. I'm from a deity of divinity, from a tribe of lions, no chain can bind us. I'm a time bomb waiting to explode. told I'm history waiting to happen. I'm like the current of an ocean. You can't stop my flow. One day surely we go blow. I'm the correction of their past mistakes. I'm the activation of your future estates. I'm a product of grace. I've got length of days. I'm hope for this generation. I'm the celebrity you see on television. I'm a believer. I believe that this nation can be better because we are a people of bold and truth. And because of me, because of us, because of our collective voices, I see.
From Chuma. You're listening to me live from the studios of Loud Silence Radio from the metros of DMV. My name once again is Kevin Taylor. Another day, another exciting episode of With All Due Respect Extended Version. I would like to welcome everyone to With All Due Respect Extended Version on Loud Silence Radio. You can listen to us live on the Loud Silence Radio app. Just go to Play Store and download. And also, it's compatible with iOS, so you can download our app. It's the Loud Silence Radio app. You can also follow this conversation by subscribing to our YouTube page, Loud Silence TV and Radio Network. You can subscribe to our YouTube page, Loud Silence Radio and TV Network. You can watch us live there. Actually, people are watching us. I'm going to read some messages. You can also follow us on Facebook on With All Due Respect page or Loud Silence Radio and TV page on Facebook. This show is coming to you live, as I said, from the studios of Loud Silence Radio in the DMV metros. Once again, my name is Kevin Taylor. So today, we will be talking about the communication tax saga. Ghanaians have started complaining about how data has become expensive over these few months after the government of Ghana, through the communication minister, Osla Owusu, decided to increase the CST to 9%, forcing the telcos. When I say the telcos, MTN, Vodafone, and the likes, forcing the telcos to increase the cost of data. The question is, should Ghanaians blame the telcos for this high cost of data, or they should blame the government, which sees the imposition of the 9% CST as a means to make revenue amid falling standard of the economy as a result of high corruption and reckless spending? I'm going to take this again. I'm saying the question, should the government blame the telcos? Should Ghanaians blame the telcos for this high cost of data, or they should blame the government, which sees the imposition of the 9% CST as a means to make revenue amid the falling standard of the economy as a result of high corruption and reckless spending? This is a conversation that cuts across borders. When I say cuts across borders, you have the same problem happening in Nigeria, happening in Benin, happening in all the countries around Ghana, the sub-Saharan region. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to have a gentleman on this show later to have this conversation with. He's a Nigerian, a social commentator, and also a radio host to discuss this issue thoroughly. I know majority of Ghanaians are blaming the telcos, especially MTN, for the high cost of data, and it's the same in Nigeria, whether you believe it or not. The same thing is happening in Nigeria. But the problem is, are we also to blame ourselves? I'm talking about the citizens. Are we also supposed to blame ourselves for what is happening? Did we allow the telcos to take advantage of us? Did we allow the government to take advantage of us? These are the present questions and present things we have to be discussing as we are on the show. It is beginning to look like a new trend in Africa where data is now becoming more expensive and the service provided very, very poor. One country that is also facing this whole thing is Nigeria. We have somebody from Nigeria. We're going to be talking to him on this issue. My fellow Ghanaians, you are listening to Loud Silence Radio. This is where we separate facts from noise. We'll also be speaking on phone to Prince Clement Addo. Prince Clement Addo, a Ghanaian PhD student at the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China. Yes, he received his bachelor degree in IT from the University of Education, Wilimba, Kumasi campus, the College of Technology. He graduated with a Master's of Science in Computer Science and Engineering from the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China in 2017, and has since been pursuing his PhD in the same university in China. His interests include mobile or cloud computing, data mining, network resource virtualization, and management. He is currently devoting time to greener, safer, and cheaper communication for Africa. We'll be asking him a lot of things. He has a PhD in the field we'll be discussing today. We'll be asking him why is communication or data vital for every economy, and more importantly, for developing economies like Ghana. We'll be asking which what are the statistics in Africa when it comes to data use? What are we, or why are we paying more for data whilst data is not available? We'll be asking him questions like how can we pay less in the medium and long-term run? This and many more will be coming after he comes, will be coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've always said, that you listening to me today from your homes, from your offices, in your cars, on your phone, wherever you're listening to me from, you are the guest and you are the host. You can contribute on this show by texting us and also going on YouTube, following us live, watching and commenting. I'll read every comment that comes through. We don't edit. We make sure that the truth is sent to the people. I'll take a few comments here before I take a short musical break. Simon Amankwase, thanks and audio. I think I need to restart this. Yes. So we have a few people online now watching us. You don't live in Ghana, but you are so concerned about the things that happens in Ghana. That's a true citizen. NDC or NPP, Ghana has a long way to go. All the politicians are corrupt. This is coming from Andy Parker. So many messages coming in. We'll be reading them as time goes on. I'm going to take this short break, and when we come back, I told you I have a Friday editorial. That editorial is going straight to the media in Ghana, and I'll be speaking on why we are hypocrites as media men in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Loud Silence Radio. My name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor. Welcome back to Loud Silence Radio. This is the extended version of With All Due Respect. My name, once again, is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor. So this is my editorial today. Today, I'm going to actually talk about the Kennedy Agyapong issue, why he was arrested, and why I feel so bad to be a journalist from Ghana today. In fact, over the week, or 2-3 days ago, it was in the news that Honorable Kennedy Agyapong was detained in the Texas airport, specifically in Houston. A few questions were asked. In fact, he was what I heard Kennedy Agyapong say was that he was detained for 5 hours, 6 hours, thereabout. What I can tell you is Kennedy Agyapong was detained for over 10 hours, 28 minutes. Kennedy Agyapong was detained for over 10 hours, 28 minutes. He coming back to Ghana to tell Ghanaians that he was detained for 5 hours and what. Honestly, that is none of my business. The reason why I am so angry and pissed, if I'm allowed to use that word, with Ghanaian media or the journalists in Ghana is that Kennedy Agyapong was stopped in the United States. He was questioned about the murder of Ahmed Swali, a journalist who was shot on the streets of Accra, Ghana. Point blank, a journalist who was shot. Now, my worry is the media houses in Ghana, journalists in Ghana, nobody from the top, from the so-called senior journalist to the junior journalist, even to the up-and-coming journalists who are at GIJ, their heads on whatever, nobody seemed to be bothered. All that people did was to speak about it for 24 hours. After that, we went back to our regular settings. We call it the factory settings, just to do our polarization, backing corrupt politicians on radio and on TV, kissing their asses and telling them, sir, please, honorable. We never went back to that issue. Ahmed Swali, Ahmed Swali was shot, and Ahmed Swali did a great job for Ghana. He was a journalist like myself. The reason why I am so ashamed and I feel so bad and I'm so angry with the journalists in Ghana is because whatever happened to Ahmed Swali in Ghana could have happened to me. And it can, because I have had people say all sort of things to me on TV, on radio, in my inbox, emails. But as journalists, are we not ashamed sitting back home knowing that another country is more interested in the murder case of a journalist in Ghana? Kennedy Agyapong was questioned. He was questioned on his involvement in the killing of Anas, his involvement in the murder of Ahmed Swali, who used to work with Anas. I don't know Anas. I don't care about Anas. What I care about is journalists in Ghana coming together, speaking with one voice, trying to protect what we do, trying to make sure that the checks and balances in the system goes accordingly to what we have in the Constitution. That is our mandate. But today, we are not ashamed, we are all over the place talking behind the scenes that Kennedy Agyapong was stopped in Houston, so it's no big deal. It's a big deal to me. It's a big deal because that other country, the United States of America, is more interested. There was a congressman who actually pushed that Kennedy Agyapong should be arrested, should be interrogated, and even the Ghana media. I don't want to talk about the government of the day because the government of the day breed Kennedy Agyapong. He sits on TV and tells Ghanaians that the president came to him, begged him for money for his campaign. So how is the government going to make sure this investigations? Now I want to ask, what has happened to the investigations of Ahmed Swali? What has happened to it? We heard some people were arrested. I want to ask the CID boss, Tiwa Adodankwa Ekufuado. I'll mention your name as Tiwa Adodankwa Ekufuado. The CID boss, what has happened? The new IGP, you want to prove yourself to us? You want to tell us that you are the man for the job? You have no taint? What has happened to that case? My fellow Ghanaians, I am so angry today because I feel like the journalists in Ghana, they don't care about we the people. Today, Kennedy Agyapong had gone after every single journalist in Ghana. He started Anas. He went after Azuri. He's come after me, myself. He went after my dad. He went after my mom. He went after my family. This is a man who is supposed to be in government, who is supposed to be in parliament, making laws for us, protecting we the citizens. Kennedy Agyapong showed the face of Ahmed Swali, told people that when they see him, they should lynch him, and the next day Ahmed Swali was shot. If he is not the prime suspect, then who is it? My fellow Ghanaians, I am not here to intimidate anybody or follow people around and chastise people for no reason. There should be a reason. The freedom of speech, press freedom, people fought to get to this point. I remember when I first organized the RTI forum I was the first person to organize the RTI forum in America, and I organized at the Ghana embassy in Washington, D.C. I tried to get government officials to come in and speak. Nobody showed up. Today, there are people in Ghana taking credit and saying that RTI, we forced it. What is happening now? We have done things behind the scenes, and we are still trying to help our country. Today, Kennedy Agyapong is being stopped. He's being detained in America. They're asking him about Ahmed Swali, a Ghanaian citizen who was shot. They were asking him, was he involved? What does he know about it? And the whole security apparatus in the Republic of Ghana, from the presidency all the way to the last messenger in this government, nobody wants to question Kennedy Agyapong and whoever was connected to this crime. He comes on TV, he comes on radio, and the same people are licking his ass. Honorable, you are the greatest man. Honorable. It shows the level of mediocrity and the level of ignorance of some people. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I want to say something. The idea that Kennedy Agyapong thinks he can go after Anas, Arimiyao Anas, is totally wrong. You see, Anas is just Anas. His works or stands for him. Whatever Anas has done has gone through everywhere. It has actually rippled across the world. Kennedy Agyapong as one individual cannot stop Anas because Anas is an entity. Anas, Arimiyao Anas, his works has put Ghana on the map everywhere in the world. So his idea of suppressing press freedom, and I know some journalists at his radio station, they're trying to go after the character, they are trying to paint Anas and other journalists as bad people. This is the same Kennedy Agyapong who says that he's fighting corruption. We should be worried. And I'm speaking to the so-called senior journalists, the senior journalists in Ghana. Yes, normal journalists who change V8 every year. Normal journalists who go into the Flagstaff House to have meetings with the president. Normal journalists who, at the end of the day, every day defend the corruption in this government. These are the journalists I'm talking about. The billionaire journalists in Ghana. We know how much journalists make in the world. We know how much ordinary journalists make in the world. But these are billionaire journalists. They change V8 every time a government changes. We know these people, and they're not going to talk about it. Those are the people I'm talking about. My fellow Ghanaians, what I would like to tell every person listening to me now is that Kennedy Agyapong, to me, is still a prime suspect in the Ahmed Swale murder. The United States of America see Kennedy Agyapong as the number one suspect in this murder. And if Kennedy Agyapong thinks that he was detained, he was interrogated for over 10 hours, and that is it, he should not think so. If Kennedy Agyapong is listening to me, if he thinks that being stopped at Houston, interrogated for over 10 hours, which I am sure of, and I know, he should not think that he's left off the hook. You know the reason why Kennedy Agyapong came back to Ghana and started making noise? It wasn't about the Ahmed Swale interrogation. The interrogators pushed forward. They asked him about his past life. Things that he has done, they know. Kennedy Agyapong is nervous because the American government is watching him now. Kennedy Agyapong is scared because he knows that his past isn't good, and that when interrogators asked him, then he was on the alert. He knew that people were watching him. That's why he rushed back home, watered down the whole thing. I was interrogated for 4 hours. He was interrogated for over 10 hours. He knows it. Kennedy Agyapong knows it. And he knows that things don't look good for him. You see, there's so many reasons why Kennedy Agyapong is doing this. And the reason why he's targeting Anas, I'm going to explain to Ghanaians today. And I'm going to explain this to some of the lazy journalists in Ghana. To be very honest with you, they are real, intelligent, smart journalists in Ghana. And they are doing a great job. Great job. And I will not take that from them. I will give them that credit. They are doing great jobs. But 90% of the journalists in Ghana, to me, if you ask me, they've been compromised. It is a community of liars who want to protect, defend, lie for everything this government does. They want to lie and defend every single thing this government does. And it saddens me because these are the same people who come sit on radio and on TV and they want to tell us, the citizens, they want to tell us, the citizens, that we are the ones to be blamed for all that is happening. Fine, I understand. Things like sanitation, I blame the citizens for it. There are some things that you can blame the citizens for. But when the system does not work, there are no jobs. When a president makes promises, when the economy is dwindling, today the dollar is almost, the city is dead. We have a vice president who talks like a parrot, with all due respect, says things, lies every day, because there's no accountability. Nobody is pushing him to the wall to ask him that you said this, you said that, you said this, and it's all against whatever you said. Why are we in this position? Nobody. Because he's the vice president. So he lies his way out, up and down. And then you get people saying that, hey, why is he saying this against the vice president? Who should I say this to? Should I go say these things to the market woman, the Kobe seller, the Kelewele seller, who is paying taxes to these people living in four-wheel drives and mansions? These are the people I have to pose my questions to. My fellow Ghanaians, I'm going to tell you reasons why Kennedy is doing this. Kennedy Agyapong wants to stifle the journalists in Ghana. He wants to suppress journalists in Ghana. And we are not going to allow that. You see, Kennedy Agyapong became very nervous He started having issues with Anas Arimyao Anas when he realized that he was being watched by Anas. You know, when the NDC was in power, Kennedy Agyapong did not have that room to operate, do his normal business. And I hope everybody listening to me understands. Kennedy never had the room to operate for that 8 years. So he was waiting and waiting and waiting. And then the MPP came into power. He thought that was the right time for him to go back into business. And then Anas popped up. Yes, Anas popped up. He's nervous. He doesn't know what Anas knows. He doesn't know what Anas is doing. What made him more nervous is after Anas released the number 12 edition documentary and also the Charles Bissiou documentary. Then he realized that Anas is too close to the Flagstaff house. That is when he came out to say that he has been sent to come after Anas. Later, he himself came and said, oh yeah, he was contracted to do that. So he got him very nervous. Now he doesn't know what Anas knows. He doesn't know what Anas is watching. All that he's doing is to make sure he gets Anas off his back. Every day, Kennedy Agyapong comes up with stories against journalists. This person, I know this about this person. This person, I know this about this person. This person, I know this, without any evidence. And we get Ghanaians applauding this. Just empty allegations. Anas Arimyao, Anas, and other journalists have done works, and they have done works with evidence, documentaries. They have done works with evidence. They've shown Ghanaians, this is what we did. Footages, copies, documents. Kennedy Agyapong always comes, laments, makes noise, insults people without any evidence. I am ashamed of the media in Ghana because when the Americans are pursuing this and we are sitting back and we are not even ashamed. They're still not discussing it. Why? Who? Where? What happened for Ahmed Swale to be shot? There are so many reasons why Kennedy is doing this. And I'm going to tell Ghanaians why. Do you know, as we speak, Kennedy Agyapong is in court with Anas. He's in court with Kweku Baku. Kennedy Agyapong, his own people to come collaborate his stories. They say they are not going to come to court and do it. Professor Frimpong Boateng is one person. He had to subpoena the guy. The guy said, no, I'm not going to come to court and defend you. You said your things, go and defend it. This is the kind of person Kennedy is. I am not doing this to protect Anas. I don't know Anas. I don't care about Anas. What I care about is that the profession I am in, it should be protected by the system. It should be protected by the president. It should be protected by our constitution. That is what I'm fighting for. If the president, the constitution, the system does not protect the journalist in the system, then who is going to protect the journalists? Today, fellow journalists get happy because some footage moving around saying that this is Anas. Anas went to buy land. I don't care what land Anas went to buy. What I care about is the monies my mother, my father, my cousins, my sisters, my friends are paying to the government to feed these people. What are we getting back in that? That is what I care about. Our taxes, whoever is taking our taxes at the end of the day as salary, as whatever, you have to account for that. That is what I care about. If Anas is doing any illegal thing, selling land, the police is there to handle that. That is why we have the police there. So don't let people come on radio and on TV because they have access to it to come and say things against journalists. And the journalists in Ghana can't come together and fight this. They are happy because their enemy's enemy is winning. My fellow Ghanaians, I have always said that we have to be bold. We have to come out and start speaking. The country does not belong to some group of people. Kennedy Agyapong and his clique, they cannot suppress press freedom. Anas Arimyao, Anas and the likes who have done documentaries, Kennedy and his likes cannot suppress them. The journalists in Ghana, today, I'm ashamed of you people. You come and sit on TV, speak all the English, say all the nice things, and you fail to protect or defend your own. Some of you guys go to other embassies to take visas on the job because of Anas's credit. Oh, you are from Ghana. You are a journalist. Oh, that's where Anas is from. They give you credit. They give you guys visas. We know. My fellow Ghanaians, Kennedy Agyapong is on a mission. And we have to make sure that people like that who are setting blocks so that press freedom, freedom of speech, press suppression of press speech. We need to stop people like that. We need to stop them. If we don't, the little democracy we are enjoying in Ghana, it will be taken away from us because they will divide and take. The strategy is to divide the people and take the democracy away. This is the time we have to come together as a people. I'm speaking to the media. I'm speaking to the so-called senior journalists in Ghana. I'm speaking to the people who matter in Ghana. With all due respect, we are not here to speak against anybody. We don't, you see, there's one thing people don't know. We don't plan, we don't sit and say, oh, this guy, let's go and talk bad about him. I don't know you. I don't know your family. I don't know the people you feed. For all you know, the person you are related to is a friend of mine. We don't do that. We go with the evidence, the documents. My fellow Ghanaians, we have to understand that Kennedy Agyapong, to me, on this show, on Loud Silence Radio today, I say he is the prime suspect in the Ahmed Swale death. If the Americans are still on the tail of Kennedy Agyapong, then I expect the media in Ghana to make noise about this. I expect the government, the security agencies to start calling people in and asking them questions. I expect the CID boss, I expect her to come and tell us how far that investigation has gone. We cannot be idiots anymore. This is the time we have to speak up and ask questions. And when we ask questions, we should demand reasonable answers, not just asking questions. We must demand reasonable answers. We know Kennedy Agyapong. He's bitter. He went to the Flagstaff House. There was a party meeting going on. And I can say this for a fact. He was driven away by the president. He sacked him. He told him, you have a big mouth. These are things all these things are happening. And we want to take somebody, the press are quiet. Coming back home to water everything down, saying that you were detained for 5 hours, 6 hours, it's an ass. No, my friend, you were detained for 10 hours, 28 minutes. You cried. Don't come back home and make noise. Where you were detained, the system works. And that is what we are fighting for. That is what we are fighting. That's why I'm on air with my face here. That is what I am fighting for. The system should work. What happened to Ahmed Swale can happen to me today. What happened to Ahmed Swale can happen to any journalist in Ghana today. But what hurts me is those people who call themselves journalists, the media, they don't see it. They don't see it because they've been polarized. It's a polarized media. Greedy. My message this morning, my editorial this morning is very, very short. I just want the media, the Ghanaian media, to understand that if they are going to go ahead and defend corrupt government officials, they are going to go ahead and defend crime in Ghana. They are going to still go ahead and defend the rot we are seeing today in Ghana. You people have to understand that it will come back and bite you people one after the other. And I will not be surprised when the personality, media men, getting close to election, will be shot like chicken on the road. I'm saying this because the person you guys are in bed with, the people you are in bed with today defending, they will turn around and kill you guys. They will turn around and murder you guys because you will become a threat to them. You have shared too much information with them. They have shared too much crime information with you people, so you become their enemy. Until you start speaking up, until you start speaking truth to power, until we become aware of why we are journalists, we are going to lose everything as Ghanaians. I am so ashamed of journalists in Ghana today. Nobody from the top to down decided to even discuss this issue because it is Kennedy Agyapong. A man who is supposed to act as an honorable man, a man whose actions supposed to teach other people life, a man who is supposed to be an example to the young ones coming up. I'm so ashamed of the media in Ghana. And all that I can tell them is punching neighbor, punching tree. In our local dialect, to say it's your nyonko, it's your doom. Adabun sit hono. And I won't say yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my editorial for today. We're going to take a short music break, and when we come back, we're going to introduce our guest for today's discussion. I already told you that today we'll be talking about the high data, how expensive you're paying for data. Yeah, data is too expensive in Ghana. That's what we'll be talking about, the CST. We will be talking to a PhD holder in France, a Ghanaian, who also has a lot of experience in data management and all of that. His name is Prince Clement Ado, a Ghanaian PhD student in the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China. So we're going to take this short break, and after this break, I'll introduce my guest. This is Loud Silence Radio.
Are you? This is a question everybody has been asked one time or the other, from one person or another. What's your pedigree, they say? Fame is not for free. That differentiates the people that drink tea from the people that sow gari. Last I checked, we're all people. You can't sit there, they say. It's reserved, it's well deserved. A name has been carved. It's for celebrity, not for an entity who's got no...
Welcome back to Loud Silence Radio. My name is Kevin Taylor. This is the extended version of With All Due Respect. We're going to have a quick conversation with Prince Clement Ado, a Ghanaian PhD holder at the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China. He received his bachelor's degree in IT from the University of Education, Winneba, Kumasi campus, the College of Technology. He graduated with a master's of science in computer science and engineering from the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China in 2017, and has since been pursuing his PhD in the same university in China. His interest includes mobile or cloud computing, data mining. Currently, he's devoting his time to greener, safer, and cheaper communication for Africa. Hello, Clement.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing today, sir?
Very fine. How about you?
We're doing great here. So I think we should just go straight to the point here. I know you've heard about how the government of Ghana has increased data. Obviously, that's how I'm going to say it, because it was through the intervention, or was through a directive from the communication ministry. At this point, I would say from the government, that all the networks were supposed to increase the charges on data. Now people are feeling the heat. They think that they're paying too much for little service. And the question I was asking this morning is, are Ghanaians supposed to blame the government, or supposed to blame the telcos for the high cost of data in Ghana today? And from your background, we want to know, what are why is communication or internet and data vital for every economy, and more importantly for developing economies like ours? Because the reason I'm asking this is, I want you to answer this, then we can delve into the technicalities of why we're paying so much, and why we're not supposed to be paying for the little we're getting, and why we should blame the government, or why we should blame the telcos. So I just wanted to know, why is communication vital for every economy, and more importantly for developing economies like Ghana?
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Sorry. For my point, I think we should blame both government and the telcos squarely. But looking at why we need why data or internet is very important for a developing economy like Ghana, is that looking at where we are now, to keep track of whatever is happening in the world, our agriculture, business, transportation, education, healthcare, can only run when we are connected. And we can't develop in any way if we are not connected. Recently, I noticed Alibaba was in Ghana, and everybody was happy. So I asked myself, how are we going to do this? Because we can't connect. And if we cannot connect, we cannot do business. If we cannot connect, we cannot promote our education and healthcare, agriculture, security, or anything. Yep. So there's no two ways about it. Internet is what we need, and we need it cheaper and faster.
Okay, so from all that you said, you talked about health, you talk about agriculture, you talk about how internet is so important in everything that we do now in the modern world. Now,
yeah.
Briefly, just give us statistics about internet in Africa. Just give us an idea, because we need to know how effective we're using the internet, and which field specifically, whether it's in agric, whether it's in commerce. We just want to know. We are trying to, I want us to carve the conversation around Africa, because when you come to Africa, data is very expensive. And especially when it comes to Ghana, Nigeria, and other countries around, it's very expensive. And we are more into agriculture, to be very honest with you, like you just said. Yeah. So I just want to know, what are the statistics here?
All right. So I'll start by saying that in many African countries, we are listed among the countries with the least bandwidth. For instance, there are countries in Africa that get about 54 kilobytes.
Okay.
Kilobytes of internet service per second. Whilst maybe in US, people are getting about 270,000 megabytes per second.
Yeah, that's
the difference.
Yeah, that's the difference. Why?
They are getting 64 kilobytes in some countries, not all countries though. In some countries in Africa, and some homes in US are getting 270,000 megabytes per second.
Mm.
But then let's look at the cost of internet. So when we go to in the US, they have an average cost of $29.
Okay.
That includes telephone charges. In France, Italy, Britain, and Germany, they have like $52, $53, $65, and $74 respectively. But when it comes to countries in Africa, including Ghana, an individual pays close to $200 to stay connected for 20 hours.
Mm.
It means that if I need to stay connected with my customers, my suppliers, I need to put these charges on the commodities I trade in. And the customers have to pay to keep my business running. So the services that I can get elsewhere for say 1 Ghana cedis, I have to pay 4 Ghana cedis in Ghana for the same service.
Okay.
So we can imagine if we can run anywhere around this figure. For example, in where I live now, I pay about 50 Ghana cedis for unlimited data. That includes call service. I can watch TV if I want for the whole month, unlimited.
Okay.
And I can connect as many devices that I want, 24 hours.
Okay, so
I can compare these two economies.
Sorry for cutting you short, but so how can we pay less in the medium or long term? How can customers in Africa, customers in Ghana or in Nigeria, from your experience and what you've learned, and
all right,
how are we going to pay less for what we're using now?
Why we pay? First, the first point is, why do we pay more? Why we pay more is that we spend more to power. I'll keep it simple. The sell side, the math. The greatest the chunk of the money that is transferred to the ordinary user is the amount we spend in powering the sell side.
Okay.
To provide these services. Once we spend more, once energy is expensive, the cost to the ordinary person will have to be higher. So in the first place, how can we pay less? We can only pay less when we spend more. We spend less in keeping these sites running. And we can pay less if we have less of these sites running, providing similar or better services, which is simple. We can actually provide better services with less cell sites and consume less power.
Okay.
Don't forget that the foreign cell site itself comes with to the environment, even danger from the cell site being collapsing on buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
The size of the kind of cell sites you build in Ghana especially takes too much space. Spaces that can be used for agriculture and residential or how do you call it, businesses. And we are seeing cell sites springing up everywhere. If you look at, I don't know if viewers can see from where you are, but figure 1, I sent you a figure 1.
Yeah, I think
when you climb the bridge,
the producers will try and get that on the screen for people to see.
All right. If you climb a bridge at one particular location, you can see about 12 mats belonging to telcos and radio stations and all the transmitting houses. If you go to, for example, part of Hope,
yeah,
you can see so many. You go to some places, all the telcos are fighting over the space put up masses, and they're all putting up the same masses with, in Africa, especially in Ghana, the masses that we have now are running at about 20% efficiency. It means that if MTN, for example, sites a mass in, let's say, town or so, that mast is running about 25%, 20% efficiency. But then Vodafone will site a new one next to MTN. Tigo is going to do another one next to Vodafone, and they are all running less than they should be running technically. So it means that 3 of these masses are running.
Yeah.
While one actually can provide the services of those 3 and have more space for expansion. So I read from graphics.
Yeah.
There are some other scientists in Ghana talking about this idea from environmental perspective and the stuff.
Yeah.
But there are tried and tested ways, simulations that we have done in our lab that shows what can be done and how it should be done.
Yeah. So from the layman or the ordinary Ghanaian, that is what they want to know, because when people don't understand the technicalities, the consumer only wants to buy credit or whatever data and make sure that the service is perfect, and also make sure gets the best of services. So the technicalities that comes with it, they don't care. What they want to see is
they don't care.
What they bought is able to do the job. I'm talking about the data they got on their phone. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. So the ordinary Ghanaian or the ordinary African who wants to get into some new business venture is not thinking about the technicalities that goes behind the scenes. All that they want to see is, in the short term or in the long term, how much am I going to pay for the data? Why am I paying so much for it? What are the telcos doing wrong that is making us pay too much? Is the government taxing the telcos too much, or is just that we are just allowing the telcos to just, we are just allowing the telcos to take us for granted and then stealing from us, if that's the right word to use now?
Yeah. So I think that government and the telcos are not running the whole system very well. One, the regulator has the capacity or the ability to dictate what happens in the country. And the telcos also need to keep up with new technologies.
Okay.
In the medium and long term, to make sure that we can keep up with the development happening around the world and pay less for data that should be available for everybody. We call something network virtualization, which is already working, and it's an integral part of the current 5G actually, and it's not because it must come with 5G. It is possible to run with 3G, 4G, which is already in Ghana.
Okay.
In the first place, we call something BS zoning. It only means that the whole. Let me take for Accra for example. If you go to figure 3, if we take the whole of Accra, we can demarcate Accra into zones.
Mm-hmm.
And in each of these zones, we will have only one cell site. Only one. In each of these zones. Because the cell site, those days we learn about Venn diagram, right? We have some intersecting and that's how the cell site works. One cell site have a coverage and the other cell site have a coverage that is a little bit overlapping on the first cell site. Each cell site have coverage that overlap a little bit. the cell sites are not in isolation. So one cell site have a coverage. Let's say your room, the studio, is covered by one cell site.
Yeah.
The cell site of the street have part of its coverage entering your room. So it's overlapping with the coverage in your room. So it's like that. Technically, they call it the hexagonical way of siting base station or cell site or masses. So the first point is that we need to regulate how cell sites are being constructed. We don't need the numbers we have now. Actually, we don't need them.
Okay.
So, number one, if MTN is spending 1,000 to power all its cell sites, that's 20 of them. If they reduce it to 5, it means that the amount of money spent on maintenance and powering those cell sites become less. It means that the cost of operation becomes less and the services become less. That's the first point. The second point is that if we do this, all the telcos, because something the virtualization or resource sharing, because one cell site, for example, have, I'll put it like bandwidth, like the data have. One cell site have maybe up to 100 megabytes of bandwidth. That 100 megabytes of bandwidth cannot be consumed by all the users in that catchment area. Never. So what we can do is that on that cell site, on that one cell site, MTN have its portion of the bandwidth, maybe 20 megabytes. Tigo has 20 megabytes. Vodafone has 20 on only one cell site. They don't need to construct 3, 4, 5 cell sites around maybe Dansuma. No, we only need one. On this one, they can share the resources. It means that instead of powering 4, we can now power 1.
So
if they share, yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, sorry. So because the telcos, when they come together, for what I know, most of the telcos, they install their satellites on the mast of GBC. I know for a fact. I'm actually working on an expose on how much they pay for all those things. Now, this also goes back to government, NCA, who is supposed to check, who is supposed to make sure this is done right. Because from what you're telling us, you want us to understand that they are spreading too many things around. I mean, they are satellites and all that, and just doing little job.
Yes.
So are they actually trying to cut costs to favor themselves?
So you see, we have 2 or 3 levels of doing this efficiently. One level is what maybe they are trying to do to mount this thing on GTB or Radio Ghana cell site.
Yeah,
that is one. But if you even mount it there, because in one of my works I explained that radio, maybe AM and FM, TV, and telecommunications, they all run on different frequencies. So, for example, if you have Radio Ghana's tower in Accra Central, all other telcos can mount theirs on it. They all run on different frequencies, so there will not be any interference. So, if they do that, that alone is not enough. How do we get this to the ordinary customer? Who, interestingly, I was in Ghana recently, and even 3G was a problem.
Yeah. So
we call it QoS. How do we give customers quality of service?
Yeah.
That's the second level. The first level is that we have limited cell sites running. That's the first level. So we cut costs. One. When we cut costs, how do we give quality? That's the second level.
All right, sir. So Finally, what will you say from your background in IT, cloud computing, data mining, and all that data? What would you say to the ordinary Ghanaian or the government at the end of the day, and also the telcos? What would you suggest? Finally, what would you suggest to them?
I think it is time for us as a nation to keep up with that. I tried. Let me be very frank. I tried to email NCC. For some reason, it keeps bouncing. I don't know whether it's from my side or from their side, or that I'm getting the wrong email or whatever. But the first thing we need to do is that we need to regulate how we deploy base stations in Ghana. Number one. Number two, we need to upgrade the architecture of the equipment we use. Just a little bit upgrade. So that, for instance, if I'm connected on a phone and I leave one area under one cell site, the coverage area, for like ordinary, the coverage area. If I leave that coverage area and I'm entering another zone, I should never feel that my internet or my call has got disconnected. It shouldn't happen. There's something we call handover. The handover should happen so that the user does not feel it. So you shouldn't be testing at any point and you feel that the network is gone when you are traveling, when you are moving. That is also on another level. But the first we need to do is the BS zoning. Government should regulate how we deploy cell sites and how many. So we deploy less cell sites first, and we give quality of service. Giving quality of service is like a whole chapter on its own. So I started making some pieces together with some other agencies to see how best we can actually get this solved. Because from where I sit, I feel that it's doable.
Yeah.
But from the news coming up lately, it's like it's too difficult to solve, which I don't know why. I was in Kenya in July to attend a conference, and after my presentation, a staff from the Ministry of Agri came in Kenya that they needed this technology to drive agriculture. So I was like, if it's going to go to Kenya, so why not in Ghana?
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your time. We will definitely get back to you on this issue because I know this issue is going to go on for some time. That was Prince Clement Ado, a Ghanaian PhD at the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China. He has mastered in data technology. Actually, in 2017, he graduated with a Master of Science in Computer Science and Engineering from the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China. His interest includes mobile, cloud computing, data mining, networks resource virtualization, and management. He's currently devoting time to greener, safer, and cheaper communication for Africa. So thank you very much for your time. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce my next guest in the studio. Yeah, we're going to have a conversation on data, why we're paying so much for data. He's actually a Nigerian. Yes, he's a Nigerian. He's a social, political commentator. He's also a radio host based here in the United States of America. His name is Kunle Olumofe. After this short break, I'll be introducing my guest. This is Loud Silence Radio. You're still listening to Loud Silence Radio. I know people watching me are just asking what's happening to Kevin now. Yeah, my producer is signaling me to do something. I think I got it right now. So, yeah. So we have in the studio Mr. Kunle Olomufe. He is a social commentator, a Nigerian based here in the United States of America. He's been on so many platforms, from BBC to wherever. He's talked on African politics, social political issues, so many things. Today, he will be sharing his views on why we should blame government or the telcos when it comes to paying so much for data. He has other views on this particular issue. He thinks that we should somehow also blame the customers or citizens who are paying for this data. But before we go on or we continue with this conversation, I think everybody just saw my producer. Yeah, he's here. You see this guy? You see, he comes and then, oh, you know what he did? He just blocked everything and he just came to change things here. All right, so let's get serious. I'm sorry. I'm going to read a few messages coming in on YouTube. The first message is Kennedy Agyapong is Ghana's biggest problem. That came from Nomovi Kobna. This is coming from Kudis Richard. He said, kudos, Kevin. Thank you, sir. This one's coming from KKN. More fire, Kevin. Thank you. Nomovi Kobna say he has bought all loudest journalists and pastors, so they are mute now. Angela George says Ghana journalists are Goro boys. Kwame Richmond, says Pepe, Kevin. That's great, Kwame. Adit Susie says, may God bless you. In fact, you are unbreakable. Continue with your good work. Thank you very much, Adade. Kwame Richmond says the highest vim. Alfred KSK Sabuabe, stomach journalist. Kwame Richard says, so does he have security guards? Kwame, I think there's a question which is directed to me. We have God and we have security guards. I think that's all that I can say. Leonian John says, where was Kennedy Agyapong when former President Rawlings was in power? If anyone wants to corrupt like Kennedy, all you have to do, get into politics and speak very loud. Kennedy is a disappointment. I think we all understand his message. This one's come from Stephen Etienne. He said, I used to like him before, but now I just can't stand him at all. Kwame Richmond says non-fat journalists are in Ghana. Daniel Faibil says Ghanaian journalists dear chia. Kwame Richmond says non-fat journalists. So a lots of messages coming in. This is coming from Shafiq Suleiman. Kevin, you have not been coming live on your Facebook page since you introduced this YouTube live. Some of us are not really into YouTube, just as Facebook. Please do something about it. We're going to actually do something about that. Guy Boaka says, Dr. Ogbenyogu, a Togolese scientist in France, developed a product that can solve data problem in Africa. That's a new one. We need to go look for that and read. Bed Style GH says, my family is planning to take a vacation month before the election. The country is not safe at all. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Ima Flower says Kevin Taylor. Now, oh man, lots of messages. Lots. Emmanuel Gijo says 90% of the media in Ghana is doing the bidding of the government in power. They all lost their focus as voice of the voiceless. They are only singing the praises of their pay masters. Shafiq Suleiman says no sound from the guest. The guest is actually going to talk very soon. He hasn't spoken yet. Emmanuel Brefo says, why don't you take the time to report and investigate and ask the same way you investigate Kennedy Agyapong? We will do that. We will investigate anybody. We will do that. Dean Yolson, internet in Ghana is indeed terrible. Sebastian Combet, Ghanaians are paying a fortune for a very bad internet service. Farida Dawkins said, I hope this problem gets rectified. Wisdom Kofi, thanks. You, bro, keep the good work you're doing. Lots and lots of messages coming in. Tenasu Budema says, please tell us in plain, simple language how our government and telcos are cheating customers in their use of the internet. Farida Dawkins says 20% efficiency is terrible. Enoch Brew says, hi, I'm late in here, but for some reason over here in Connecticut, The videos and audios are breaking up. It's just me or everyone. Yeah, he's trying to say that he's not getting the best of service. I think producers and technical guys are looking at it. This coming from Samuel Andor, watching you live from Ghana, Takwa to be specific. How are you doing, Samuel? Miko Ansa Johnson says it is becoming evident that there is no central plan to build mast, which it rents to telcos. Now we have private companies with individual inefficient masts. Ewanam Yao Anane Atigbo says, wow, I'm also watching this with everyone. Kevin, thanks for the sacrifice. Alexander Oklu said, Mr. Taylor, may God, Lord, grant you the grace and divine health to be able to stand for the truth, nothing but the truth. Your program made me to enjoy, develop love for government and politics. Tim B says, I don't know, my Ghanaian media are all silent whenever there are matters to discuss involving NPP. Ram Mohammed says, now customers are crying out for poor services. Sebastian Combet says, wow, that was very informative. Daniel Obing, God bless you, sir. Idris Issa says, good job, Kevin. Thank you, Idris. Blackman King says, very simple and nice studio. Keep doing a good job. Lots and lots of messages coming in. I don't think I can read everything. I'll just have to go straight and start a conversation with my guest here, Kunle Olomofe. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Today I'm good.
Yeah, it's Farmers Day in Ghana today. You know Farmers Day. Do you have Farmers Day in Nigeria?
I have no idea.
Oh, Farmers Day.
I mean,
we're talking about Farmers Day.
Do.
You say?
We probably do.
You.
But like you said when we were off air, you said here in the US, there's no Farmers Day,
but there's a lot of food.
But the food is abundant. The farmers basically, US farmers basically feed the whole world at some point.
Basically, yeah.
And there's no Farmers Day here. And the bottom line of that is there's Farmers Day in Africa, but not much action. So action, in my view, speaks louder than words.
Perfect statement. Action speaks louder than words. You need to put a lot in what you do, and that will speak for you. Yeah. We've been celebrating Farmers Day since I was a kid in Ghana. And sometimes it's so appalling that sometimes some of the farmers, the kind of prizes they get. A farmer sometimes win Farmers Day and he's given a stereo.
A tube of yam. A tuber of yam.
The farmer, the rice farmer wins the best farmer, and he's giving rice. Like sometimes you don't get it. Like
it's like we're joking with ourselves in Africa. That comment you made also applies to the celebrity shows that we watch on TV.
Yeah,
they give those people who do absolutely nothing on TV, they give them the best of everything when they come out of that, setting, this reality TV. Yeah. Those people, contestants, in quotes, get the best of everything. But then when you look at the kind of contestants that are really going to apply value to society, the children who do well in school and they don't get anything. So we have an upside down mindset in Africa.
It's beginning to look like we even those with money, those who want to invest, they are now investing in things like that.
Yeah. That's because you see, and this leads very beautifully into the topic we are going to discuss today. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But you see, the challenge is when there is a demand for something. That is where the supply goes.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, people are demanding nonsense. Yeah. So the investors are going to give it to them.
Yeah. So you're listening to my guest. His name is Kunle Olomofe. Is it right?
Olomofe, yes.
Olomofe. I got it.
You tried.
I got it.
With the beautiful Ghanaian accent. I love. You see, I was listening to all the comments you were reading.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the slangs, the Ghanaian slang. You guys have so many.
Yeah.
But the general, concept of what was being said, I could appreciate. Yes, which is basically how I feel about this whole thing.
Normally when you come to West Africa, the Sub-Saharan region, Ghanaians, Nigerians, basically the same. We speak the same language. Yeah. And when it comes to even pidgin language, we understand each other very well. Yes. We can switch right now.
Yes.
If we talk pidgin accents, but we try and make things look simple. I see. So
I want to quickly touch on something before we jump into today's topic. You were talking about journalists and
yeah. That was my editorial.
Yeah, honestly, you were touching my heart in so many places. I couldn't withstand the pressure of what you were saying.
Yeah.
I myself, I'm not a trained journalist, but I've been in the media for quite some time. And I was in the media in Nigeria. It's part of the reason why I'm here now. I don't actually talk about it publicly.
Yeah.
But a lot is going on in Nigeria too. You were speaking about Ghana.
Yeah.
It's like you were speaking about Ghana, but you actually were also speaking about Nigeria. Mm-hmm. But I want to be fair, very fair to Nigerian journalists. Although, there's the impression that Nigerian journalists also, they call them the brown envelope journalists. But there
ours are the Goro boys.
The Goro boys.
Yeah.
But there are very good journalists in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I've worked with some very fantastic journalists, true journalists. The challenge that we have is that the system and the people don't back them up.
When you say the people,
I'm going to be a little bit controversial today.
Yeah.
Some of your viewers may not like what I say, because I like to really speak the truth directly. It's a difficult thing to do sometimes, but you have to. We can blame the government as much as we want. We can blame, the telcos and the media as much as we want. The consumers are the people that are allowing them to do all these things.
So basically, we've entered into our discussion now. Yes, so that's the thing. In Ghana right now today, people are so frustrated.
Yeah.
The reason why they are so frustrated is because they know they are paying so much, but the services they are getting isn't the best. Now, if you listen to my editorial, like the introduction when I started the show, I asked the question: should we blame the government or blame the telcos? I remember behind scenes, before we got into the studio, you were like, you think we should blame the people because the people have allowed the telcos to take advantage of them. Mm-hmm. Some people will be like, no, we are paying for some kind of service and we should get that service. And then somebody gave the telcos license to operate, and that and I know in the contract, all these things are there. Make sure you don't overcharge. Make sure you give them the best of service. So there's another group of argument somewhere trying to say that, not us, it's the government. The government is taxing them and they are pushing the tax on us.
Right.
Basically, that's what's happening in Ghana.
So if you're paying for something with your money and you're not getting your money's worth, are you going to pay more? You see, that's the challenge that we have as Africans. I don't know how it works in Ghana. I've never been to Ghana. I would love to someday. But in Nigeria, I can speak very boldly on this issue.
Okay.
Nigerians are very complacent as a group. Even individually.
Yeah.
We tend to be very complacent. If you give whatever you hand down to, Nigerians generally, they will just accept it. So
it's the same in Ghana too.
Well, if you are giving poor service to a group of people, and those people are paying their hard-earned money for that poor service, what normally happens in a normal climb is the people who have the hard-earned money will hold it back. And they will tell you, excuse me, I sweat blood for this money.
Yeah.
You are not giving me the value that my blood is supposed to get. Therefore, I will withhold it until you do what is right. And they do it as a group. And so that when you do something as a group, the impact is almost instant. Instantaneous response.
Yeah.
Because the telcos or the government will sit back and say, what's going on here? It looks like the money is not going to be flowing. We need to, sit down and reevaluate this situation. Yeah. That is where the real solution lies. In America, we people talk about America this, America that. Americans, they lead the world in a lot of things. They have their own issues, which we can spend 50 million years talking about, frankly speaking. So they are not perfect. But when you are here, you can sense the group think when it comes to getting value for their money. Americans don't play with their dollars. If they don't like something, even if it is an individual person, he doesn't care whether a group of people don't join him. He will take his money, he will take his credit card, he will take his wallet and walk down the road to another place. But in Nigeria, what you find is somebody doesn't like something that the telcos are doing, and he stays with the same telco for 5 years, 10 years, buying their credit, Complaining. As he's buying it, he's complaining. Oh, these people are charging me too much. And then he will send his credit details and they will take more money. Oh, these people are charging too much. And it's interesting because when I posted this on social media, I expected what will happen. Crickets. Silence. It's the way of the Nigerian, perhaps probably even the African.
Yeah.
I'm even actually very impressed with your audience. Your audience is actually quite a sharp audience. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to cater, pander to that audience. I'm reading the comments. They are live. They are excited about the topic. They want to know what's, going on. Nigerians generally are different. They are very laid back.
Yeah.
And you see, being laid back is good. But when you are laid back on important issues, it is bad.
So, from what I'm making out of your comment here, you think the telcos are taking advantage of the people?
100%.
Fine. But in Ghana, a few months ago, the communication ministry actually told the telcos that they're supposed to charge the customers because they are moving some taxes. Now, at that point, the telcos have nothing to hide.
Their hands are tied?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if the government is taxing me so much, where do I push the tax?
Obviously to the consumer.
Yeah. So at some point, I don't think we should blame ourselves or blame the telcos.
We should go
to the government because when the government makes business flexible a little bit for telcos, I think rationally they will also have to make their services or whatever they are giving flexible for the people.
I agree with that too, to some degree. Like I said, you can't remove blame from all these three parties.
Yeah.
There are three parties involved. Government, telcos, consumers.
Yeah.
The government is more powerful than the other two because they set the standards, they set the laws, and they implement those laws, right? The challenge that we have with poor governance is back to the same issue of the people allowing them to do that.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, I don't think we have a major issue with taxation affecting
telcos.
The telcos. I'm not sure. I haven't been in Nigeria for a while, so I don't recall back then that being an issue. And now that the Nigerian government is taxing, the people even more than before.
Yeah.
Because now they are bringing up all sorts of, new ways to tax Nigerians too. I'm not so sure it's affecting the telcos per se, but I'm sure it probably is.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is government is overtaxing the people.
Yes. That is the conversation now.
So my question to you, sir, what are the people doing about it? You see, we get to this point when we have to face what reality is.
Yeah.
We live here. We know what happens when citizens of America don't like what their government does. Abi?
Yeah.
We know, we see them on the streets, we see them out.
Oh yeah, they're loud.
People can say, that's America because the police won't come and shoot them. That's very, very true. I agree with that. Because, this issue that you raised about the journalists, you see, everything you are talking about today is connected. Everything is connected directly as if it's one topic. You were talking about the journalist being attacked, the journalist being muzzled.
He was actually shot, point blank.
Shot dead
in
the streets. Horrible.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Nothing. In Nigeria, this morning, I think it was this morning that news started to go all over the place. One of the most prominent journalists in Nigeria, you might know him, Showore is his name, owns Sahara Reporters, ran for president a couple of years ago or so.
Yeah.
Obviously failed. The campaign wasn't very strong. He failed. So he came out as an activist instead and said, look, if I cannot run for office of the president and win, let me try to, galvanize the people and let's see if we can take back power that way. Now, forget about his political motives, whether he's good for the country, bad for the country, you support him, you don't support. That's not the issue. The issue is that he felt something was wrong and he wanted to do something about it without shooting anybody. He wanted to gather masses and say, let us, speak with one voice. Yeah. Immediately, the Nigerian government saw that this guy is actually getting support. They arrested him. Cooked up charges, or maybe the charges are valid, I don't really know. I'm not a lawyer. Talked about the fact that he used the word revolution when he makes speech. I'm telling you. And
Yeah.
they actually posted this on social media.
Yeah.
The head of, it's like the FBI, the head of the FBI in America posting something on social media.
Yeah.
The head of the Nigeria police posted on social media that Showore used the word revolution. So now they are going to arrest him. And they've arrested him. He was in prison for, I think, about 120 days or 150 days or something like that. Eventually, he was released despite the fact that, the DSS, that's our own security service, refused to listen to court orders and all. It's a messy situation. He was released, I think it was yesterday that they released him. Guess what? Before yesterday ended, before the sun came up again, the same DSS has rearrested him.
So now we're going back to the system. We're going back to... Yeah. But, I don't know, but it's looking like these telcos,
yes,
they make so much money in Africa.
Yes.
Is it because they've realized that there are so much loopholes in our checks and balances in our system that they could take advantage of?
Yeah.
Because when you come to the side, text is free. When you pick your phone and you text, you're not charged.
You get unlimited text.
You get unlimited texting,
calls.
unlimited calls. And these are the same telcos everywhere in the world. Yeah. I don't think the guys here, they use any extraordinary equipment or technology because they all go to the same forum, they're applying the same thing.
It's the same technology.
Let's talk about MTN because MTN is in Ghana, MTN is in Nigeria. Yes. And basically they are the biggest now.
Everywhere you go.
So is it because they've realized that there's this kind of gap in Africa they can take advantage of because the people are timid? They don't come out to speak. And also our politicians are greedy that whenever they put anything on the table, they will connive with them and cheat the people. Because I don't want to sound political, but when the last regime was there, we didn't have this. Even though it has been there for a very long time. If they want to hike, they're going to be hiking a little bit, But now it is too much. And from my checks, it's the same in Nigeria. Why? Do you think they've seen a gap that they can operate and then take advantage of the consumers?
It's a lack of knowledge. When you lack knowledge, you lack power, don't you?
Definitely.
And, just what you just said now about the telecoms here in America is, when you pay, how much do we pay? Depends on what, I pay about $50 a month because I want unlimited
service
data.
Yeah.
But I don't have to pay $50 a month if I just want unlimited phone calls and unlimited text. I think that's like $10.
So why are we not getting the same
$10 or something
deal
like that
back in Africa?
The reason is, like I said, it's a lack of knowledge. In fact, when my wife heard that you invited me on to talk about this, she said, that's the number one topic for you. Because I've been complaining about this. I've lived abroad for many years.
Yeah.
And so I understand what is going on in other countries. So when I come to Nigeria, immediately the contrast is very clear. So when I arrived in Nigeria, I think some years ago, when I arrived to settle in Nigeria, and I saw what you just said about the fact that I don't remember, this is an anecdote that I don't recall perfectly, but this is more or less what was going on. It was as if they were charging Nigerians for sending emails in those days, just a few years ago. And I started laughing because I knew, I'd been using email for decades, and I know that email is free. It's not supposed to
be. Yeah.
But, we were being charged for those things because the people don't know any better. And it goes back to that issue of the people.
Yeah.
There needs to be better enlightenment, I think, of what their understanding of how the technology works.
Yeah.
Because, even now, today, as we speak, there are so many Nigerians and possibly Ghanaians too who do not understand how the technology works. When you had your guest on, you were saying they don't understand the technology and they don't care.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't have to understand the intricacies of the technology.
Yeah.
But you have to understand the value of what that technology can give you. Because if you don't understand the value it's supposed to give you, whatever they give you, you are going to accept it.
Yeah. I have there's a comment here, very, very interesting.
Okay.
I said it's coming from John Thikpe. He says, you can't blame the consumer because they don't have options to choose from. They can only make noise, but who is listening to them?
Good.
Please, there are a lot of problems facing consumers. Thanks for the work. This is coming from John Thikpe.
Can I respond to John? Yeah. John, thank you for your response. It's the response that I expected.
Yeah.
It's the response that always comes back. We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
we don't know what else to do. We talk and nobody listens. The question that I asked at the beginning is, if you are getting something you are not supposed to be getting for your hard-earned money, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to make excuses like this and say we don't have a choice?
Don't have option. Yeah.
Now let me put a scenario in front of John and perhaps others that might be thinking that way. Okay, let me give this anecdote before I go there. A few years ago, Nigeria, I don't know if you guys experienced fuel scarcity in Ghana, where you can't get petrol, and so.
Oh yeah, it happens every time.
I was on radio then. I was on air. I was a radio host back then, and my show was quite influential. I thank God for that. And so I tried to use the influence of that show to create a mass of people who would push back against the government.
Okay.
And say, look, we are not going to take this fuel scarcity thing anymore. We are a country that produces, this very oil that you people are telling us, that we don't have access to now. People were being overcharged for that petrol. Maybe petrol that you should spend 10 naira on, you will spend like 1,000 naira on the same thing.
That's crazy.
And people were buying it. This is people that don't have money. They will find the money to buy. So I came on air and I said, my fellow Nigerians, this thing has been going on for far too long. Businesses are shutting down everywhere. Why don't we come to listen to it very carefully? I hope John is listening. Why don't we come together and stop buying petrol for a month? See what the difference will be.
But you see, some people's life also depends on these things.
True. Their lives depend on it.
Yeah.
But their lives are being tortured even now. If your life depends on something that is torturing you, isn't it better to get rid of it and risk your life to do so? You see, at the end of the day, it's a chicken or the egg situation.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision. It's either, like John said, we keep on ranting or we do something about it. And what I'm talking about I'm not talking about violence. I detest violence.
Yeah.
In fact, if somebody entered this place now and tried to, you will beat me up. I don't know how to fight. You understand? I don't like violence.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that violence is not the only way to get what you want.
But you see, and with this one, in Nigeria and Ghana, I think it's almost the same thing. When you try to demonstrate against a particular policy, or let's say if it's not a policy,
they shut you down.
This increment or anything, the same people, the same citizens, some will turn around and politicize it.
Yeah. That's another problem.
Sometimes I think we are the problem.
We are our own problem.
Yeah, because some students, some people who depend on data, basically everybody depends on data now. If you try, I know there's a journalist in Ghana now who is trying to gather people to get on the street, to demonstrate, to tell the government that, to tell the telcos, you guys are ripping us off. And I got a few emails from people, and people just want to push that guy or the demonstration into a political setting.
They will say they will claim he's collecting money from the opposing party or something crazy.
Every day somebody collects money. Every day somebody. That is the excuse of.
It's a sad thing, because you see, part of the reason why I stopped talking about Nigerian politics, because I stopped at some point, is that I was talking about it, and the people I was talking about it for didn't care.
Yeah.
At some point, they were like, look, Mr. Kunle, your own is too much, Jare. Your own is too much. This government thing you're always talking about. This oppose the government thing. We are okay for now. When I said, my friend, if you are okay.
I am not okay.
Me, I'm not okay, but I will leave you inside your okay zone. Because you see, that's what will eventually happen. We have a lot of consumers, a lot of people in our midst, a lot of citizens who are suffering with us.
Yeah.
But when you speak up and say, let us all speak together, they will be the same people who are suffering that will tell you, please shut up, my friend.
But I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's funny. Yeah. I'm going to let me take a few minutes and read some comments coming in.
Okay.
This is coming from Awini Comfort. Says data is expensive in Ghana now. Awini Comfort comes again and says this government is ruining down our lives. Bernard A says, I agree about the overtaxing point. Awuni comes back and says, God bless you, Kevin. Thank you. Farida Dawkins says, when I was in Ghana, most of my money went to data, gas, and food.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, right? Yeah, people spend so much on data, and now you can't live without
Can I
it.
try to compare what that just said?
You can go ahead with that. Yeah.
I just told you here in the US, unlimited data costs about $50 a month.
Yeah, regular.
Right?
Yeah.
That's $50 a month is how much I think is roughly the same in Nigeria in terms of
currency.
Your currency. I don't remember.
15 Ghana.
Let me check to be sure, because the currencies are always fluctuating.
I think in Ghana
yes,
today,
about 18,000 naira.
Okay,
in
Ghana
Nigeria.
today, it's almost like 6 cities.
Okay,
it's close to there. Okay. Yeah.
So let me get to that point. So we're spend about $50 a month to get unlimited data here in America, an advanced country with advanced systems, advanced solutions. Everything is advanced.
Yeah.
We spend $50 a month to get unlimited data here. Would you believe it if I told you that same $50 a month is what Nigerians are spending for unlimited data too?
For a third world country.
For a third world country, for a struggling country.
People make less than $1 a day.
People make less than what we are making here,
Yeah.
and they are spending the same amount as what we are spending here for the same solution. No, what am I saying is the same solution for a lesser value of that solution.
And it's the same provider, MTN, Vodafone, the same.
What do you call this? The bandwidth is low, like your initial, your first guest was talking about. The quality is not very good, but they are spending almost equal as what the advanced countries are spending. So you already can see a clear contrast of what is going on.
Yeah.
We are so being overcharged in Africa that it will blow your mind. There was an article that we talked about that you wanted to, if you can get to that article. There is a chart in that article that shows how much is being spent in Ghana per gigabyte, how much is being spent in Nigeria per gigabyte, in Ethiopia and all these places. There's a country on that list.
I need to find it. I need to find it.
Okay, you're looking for it.
Yeah.
I think Nigeria is spending about $2 per gigabyte.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you guys. In Ghana, it's about $3 per gigabyte, almost $4 per gigabyte. It's about double.
When I find it, I'll let the producers put on it.
You guys in Ghana actually spend double of what we spend in Nigeria on data. Right?
So from what I'm seeing from the article you're referring to is from the STS business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting.
Yeah.
Is data really that expensive in Nigeria? Mm-hmm. In 2017, an estimated 92 million mobile subscribers spent an average of 197 billion naira on mobile data each month, translating to 2,141 per subscriber. This might seem inexpensive when compared to other goods and services, but it is equivalent to 12% of the current national minimum wage. Yeah. People spend a lot.
We spend a lot in Nigeria on data. I mean, Nigerians consume data like they're consuming water.
Yeah.
Many of them don't even have the money to do it, but they find it somehow.
Yeah, I think what you were trying to find is the cost of 1 gigabyte in Nigeria is roughly $2.78.
That's it.
Compared to $2.33 in Rwanda, $3.63 in Ghana, and $5.99 in Gabon.
Look at the one that is at the very top of that list. There's a country at the very top. Well, how much is it? Something like $36. What's that per gigabyte?
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Yeah. So it's ridiculous when you look at these figures. Like in Nigeria is $2. So basically it's like $2.8.
Yes.
And in Ghana it's 3.6.
Yes. So you are going back to that thing of you in Ghana, you are actually being overtaxed.
Yeah.
When it comes to your data. That's obvious.
But when you compare Nigeria, the number of people in Nigeria and the number of people in Ghana, Nigerians
are
also
dwarf Ghana by millions.
Millions.
Yeah.
Nigerians are paying a lot. And we are also paying a lot in terms of when you want to compare the numbers.
Yes. The solution that Nigerians find, I'm sure Ghanaians also do this, is when, like John mentioned, I like what John posted, I'm not, attacking him. I actually like what he posted, that, we don't have options. So what do we do? One of the solutions is to come up with options.
Yeah.
In Nigeria now, there are new ISPs, new telcos coming up, by young Nigerians who are not multimillionaires, but they are coming together, either pulling their money together or, looking for investors outside the country and saying, look, we need to build solutions, options for Nigerians that are being swallowed up by MTN and Etisalat or whoever all those people are, And so that's another option. is to find a way to create new solutions that will automatically challenge the existing telcos. But here's the thing that goes on in Nigeria. In that very article that you have in your hand there, I think we might even want to make that link available to your viewers.
Yeah, they're going to read it.
In that very article that you are looking at there is, because that article is, in fact, it's like a thesis, like I told you.
Yeah.
It's a complete broad view of everything that is going on with telcos in Nigeria. And what that article says is that part of the problem with finding options in Nigeria, where, if I don't like Mr. A's business, let me go to Mr. B, right? If I don't like Telco A, let me go to Telco B. The problem in Nigeria, guess what? We have a telco mafia.
Oh.
Yes. If you bring in a new telco and you start, charging an amount that, Nigerians find very attractive, and they start moving to your new telco, something is going to go on between the old telcos and the government, and they are going to shut the new one down. It's going on as we speak. If I tell you that Google came to Nigeria, Google, we are talking about the largest tech company in the world, came to Nigeria and was chased out by the Nigerian government. Would you believe that? It's in that article.
What?
Yes, Google came and said, let's start providing better internet. Obviously they have better grasp of the technology. Yeah. Let's provide better internet for Nigerians. Let's make internet free. Let's make it really cheap. And so they started providing, on campuses, they were posting, Google hotspots. And people were like, what are you?
Hotspots here.
What do you think you are trying to do?
You want to cut to the business, man.
You want to advance Nigeria. You must be joking. And immediately, shortly after that, the NCC, that's our National Communications, whatever they call those ones, the NCC in Nigeria, the guys that, regulate telecoms. Ours
is NCA.
They came down on Google and said Google did not sign a contract. This is Africa. That's what we do. We love to punish ourselves for the value that's it's funny, right?
You're still listening to Loud Silence Radio. My name is Kevin Taylor. My guest here he's a Nigerian. He's a social commentator. He used to be a radio host in Nigeria, but he's here in the United States. His name is Kunle Olomofe. My name is Kevin Taylor. This is Loud Silence Radio. You can enjoy this conversation on our YouTube page, Loud Silence Radio and TV Network. You can also follow us on Facebook with Audio Respect. That's the page. You can follow us, and you can download our radio app. Download the radio app, Loud Silence Radio. It is compatible with Android and also iOS. I'm going to read a few of the comments. Lots of comments coming in. People are very interested in this particular topic. Agbenuke Ewe Channel. That sounds Nigerian, right?
Oh, I don't know. I have to
so
see.
He says that politicians who sold Ghana Telecom should bring back our telecom. Mark Derek Hatika says the Ghanaian youth is the problem. We've been brainwashed to hold mysterious blockheads to our groupthink. We aren't able to distinguish our party from government in power, hence inept youth. I think this is a solid. I
applaud whoever wrote that.
The person who wrote this is called Mark Derek Hatika. This is a solid.
I'm going on the head.
Yeah, he actually nailed it. This is what we expect here on Loud Silence Radio. Shafiq Suleiman says, as I was growing up as a Ghanaian, I was being hit left from right about Vision 2020 since 1996. Folks, we have barely less than 1 month to 2020. What is the vision now? Lord have mercy.
Vision now is 4040.
But boss, I think we're going to go to Shafiq Suleiman. The vision now, I think, is Vision 4049. Yeah, it's one of it's so funny. These are serious stuff, and somebody might think we are just, but it becomes funny sometimes.
At some point, you have to laugh because otherwise, you have high blood pressure and you will not be around to suffer with the other people.
you need to suffer. You need to stay around and suffer with them. You can't just leave. We all have to die. You're gonna die together. All right. So this is coming from Rastaman JB. South Africa, who are paying less, are still demonstrating for a reduction, while Ghana, who are paying higher, are now increasing the price. Miko and Sir Johnson, telecom is a huge revenue source for all countries, so governments extract the wealth. That is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Now, Shafiq Suleiman is back and said, I think I've taken that before. Lily says, She doesn't have a lot to say, or he doesn't have a lot to say. Akosol Media Group. Although America or some of these leading countries in Europe may not necessarily be perfect, one of the things they have close to perfect is to have various agencies in place that simply monitor. In Ghana, we have the NCA. When you go on the board of the NCA, the National Communication Authority, when you go on the NCA, it is made up of politicians.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It is made up of media men.
Unbelievable.
And then the funny thing is, now in Ghana, the government is shutting down media houses they think are speaking against them.
Yeah.
There's no democracy. And I know the same thing happened in Africa, in Nigeria. And you've been you've gone through such things.
Yeah, I experienced that.
They changed you, the government, because you were speaking against the system.
Yeah, I experienced that, so I know exactly.
This is what we want to fight as we speak. And our president moves around the world touting the democracy in Ghana, but people don't have the right to speak.
In Nigeria, we have something called a hate speech bill that they've been trying to push. Hate speech is supposed to be when you say something, really derogatory or hateful that will attract violence on somebody, that doesn't have the power to fight back. But our government in Nigeria is pushing a hate speech bill that puts you in a position that if you criticize the government, they will hang you.
This is a topic we have to treat.
In fact,
this is actually a topic we have to treat, because we can't. You see, I always say, people, the new generation we have now, whenever I start my show, there's this young Nigerian lady's poem.
Oh,
this
is
Nigeria.
Yeah.
This is what we need. The new generation, the generation that will speak truth to power. We don't care. All that I care about is to get job. Is to go through my education, come out, get job, pay my taxes, take care of my family, make sure the country is working, and I'm also contributing to help move my basic.
You know what you just said? You just described the average American citizen.
It's true.
And that is why, part of the reason why their country is the way it is, why people are running here from all over the world. Because they have stood up to power and said, look, we love ourselves as citizens, and this is what we want. And they speak with one voice to get it. Yes, in Nigeria and Ghana, the government has the guns and they can
and all that
destroy your lives. And I appreciate that problem. I'm not somebody who will stand in front of a bullet for anybody.
I'm not taking bullets for anybody.
Clear. And the only reason that I will not take a bullet for my country yet, because I could, but for now, I refuse to take a bullet for my country. And the reason is because many millions in that country who are suffering are telling me, shut up, we don't even want you to talk. So why should I take a bullet for them? That becomes the question. Here in America, they are ready to take bullets for each other, because they are all fighting for more or less the same goal. Yeah, you have the Republicans and the Democrats, but really they are all really fighting for the same thing. An America that is better than any country in the world.
So we're talking about patriotism here.
That is what it is. There is a lack of patriotism, and what people think is patriotism. I told you about the anecdote about the fellow on social media who I actually respected, who posted something about patriotism. I will get to that later. But the point is, a lot of people think patriotism means keeping quiet and letting the government do whatever they want. That's patriotism.
No.
Keeping quiet and saying, well, the government did this good thing yesterday. Don't you have to criticize all the time? That's patriotism to some people in Africa. And unfortunately, that means they don't really understand what patriotism means. Patriotism means standing up, speaking truth to power, standing up, fighting for your colleagues and making your fellow citizens, and making sure that they get the good things out of life.
The change.
That is what patriotism is.
Change. I'm going to take these messages quickly, then we can wrap up our conversation. Although this is coming from Akosol Media Group. Although America or some of these leading countries in Europe may not necessarily. Okay, I've taken that before already. This is also coming again from Akosol Media Group. I'm quite sure the lame government of either Ghana or Nigeria will step their effort up to do the right thing. This is also coming from Shafiq Suleiman. I did leave videos to speak against telcos over charges. I had people, ordinary Ghanaians, my friends, both in the neighborhood and on social media, attacking me for showing off. Really?
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's a hard one. This is coming from a lot of messages. I think I'm going to take a short music break, and then when we come back, we're going to come wrap up this conversation. Are we supposed to blame the government for the high data cost, or are we supposed to blame the telcos? Some people too think we should blame ourselves because we are hypocrites and that we don't want to step out and speak truth to power. My name is Kevin Taylor. You're still listening to Loud Silence Radio. You can watch us live on YouTube, Loud Silence Radio and TV Network. You can follow us on Facebook with All Due Respect page. You can also download our app. It's compatible with Android and iOS. Loud Silence Radio. This is where we separate. Respect extended version. My guest here is Kunle Olomefe. He is a Nigerian, a social commentator. He has been in radio for a very long time. He's traveled around the world. He has had interviews on different platforms from BBC to, so he knows what he's talking about. Today we were discussing, or we've been talking about the high cost of data in Ghana, in Nigeria, across Africa. It's been a very, very interesting discussion. Lots and lots of messages coming in here. I think that's why I keep saying that on this platform, the host, the listener, the guest, basically we are the news. You know, we make you the listener and people back home. We give you the platform to express yourself because you are the people we're working for. You are the people we want to send your message to those who have to hear you out. So we try as much as possible to read lots and lots of messages for people to understand that the grievance, the anger, the submissions, people will hear you guys out. So I'm going to be reading a few messages before we wrap up today's show. This is coming from Felix Kojo. He says, big up Kevin Taylor, good job, thank you. This is coming from Sebastian Combert. He says, I was in Ghana 2 years ago. Kevin, I was confused at the rate at which the credit vanishes from my phone. I opted to buy something they called unlimited, but it was nothing like unlimited. Yeah, so they put these kind of titles on, you know, unlimited. That's why I have a problem with these telcos. I think they found a gap in Africa. They found a gap where they think they can operate without anybody checking them. Sometimes people lose data. People lose data and they call these telcos and nobody picks up.
Yeah,
sometimes people pick up and like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that comment, it's in that article we talked about. Like, we really need to share that article.
Yeah.
It's in that article we talked about, the fact that people are seeing that their data is basically being stolen by the telcos.
Yeah, where does it go?
And you can do nothing about it. If you call them, they won't answer your calls, or if they answer your calls, they rigmarole you all over the place. At the end of the day, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I have a comment here from one of my followers.
Okay.
He says, his name is Real Ike Nwanga. He says it is a conspiracy initiated by the people in power for selfish gains.
It is true.
That's what's going on.
I believe that is true.
That's
because
what's going on.
The telcos are becoming too powerful in Africa.
Yeah.
Nigeria and Ghana, they are becoming too powerful.
Yeah.
And at a point, they decide who becomes president.
Yeah.
Because they've got the financial muscle to do that.
Yeah.
And it's about time we started speaking.
Yeah. You have to speak out. You have
Speak
to
out.
speak out.
Going
You have
out,
no choice,
demonstrate.
really.
No violence. Let them know how you feel.
Yes. It's not about violence. Violence actually should not even be on the table.
I keep telling the youth. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that comment. It's about speaking. You have to speak out.
Speak out.
Whether this goes, I love you. You say I'm going back to John. I like what John said. You see, it's not about speaking and nothing happens.
No.
So keep quiet. No, you must continue to speak.
Till you get results.
Yeah.
When you ask questions, demand reasonable answers.
Yes.
Because anybody can give you an answer, but the answer should be reasonable. That is what I have been saying all these years. These politicians, these people, they come, they speak to the youth. They don't talk for the youth. Yeah, they just speak to them. We'll do this for them. We'll create this job. But they don't talk for them. They don't do anything for them. We will come to all these things. This is Loud Silence, and we have a lot, man. This is just the beginning. Let me read a few messages. Ghana recently spent a huge sum of money on GPS. This is coming from Sebastian Combert, without a proper addressing system. I remember this very well. It's only Ghana's vice president who knows what he did with the GPS thing.
Oh, you
I
talked
told you
that.
about
Yes,
it.
yes.
Our vice president came back with this GPS thing. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, wherever you are.
Advanced
listening.
GPS.
Yeah, it's better than the American GPS. It is better than the UK GPS. That GPS, when you catch a bird, you can tell the bird, go to Abuja market. Take this track, Sky, go bring Calabash. And that bird will go bring Calabash. That is the kind of GPS he said he brought to Ghana. And people were driving into cassava farms.
Maybe they were looking for cassava farms. They were not looking for cassava.
I was in Ghana sometime, behind the university, behind Legon. There's this dead road. I was driving with my wife. We ended up in a farm. I was like, what? And it was so dark. It was so late. It was like 9. What if somebody had, and this is the GPS, my own vice president.
But you see, that's the thing, is that when they make these kinds of errors,
they don't come back to
they get away with it.
Yeah.
So they're going to do it again. It's not the last time.
The vice president said that by the end of 2018, every Ghanaian was going to have a bank account. Man, this is my vice president.
They can make any promise to you because
and they walk
know
away.
That, because they know the people are not going to do anything about it. You see, this is what I told you, all these things go back to the same. Oh my God.
You're still listening to Loud Silence Radio. This is coming from Dansu K. Alfred. The day that Africa will be wise up, the entire world will come to an end. We Africans are not ready to be enlightened and be in competition with the Western world. This comes from Danso K. Alfred. Guy Boka says the solution to challenge the telcos is called PWSC from the Togolese scientist, but as your host is saying, the African government refused to accept the solution. Africa youth should stand up. Africa youth, you have to stand up. Youth in Nigeria, stand up, and youth in Ghana, you guys have to stand up and speak. Speak for yourselves.
Speak with one voice.
People with
Stop
one voice.
Fighting each other and speak with one voice.
This is coming from Kelly Phillips. We need to blame our greedy politicians. Good work done, Kevin. Thank you, Philip. Suleimana Sabasta says, this is good. Lord Askia Mohammed, the Nigeria president, is dead man walking.
I don't want them to come and arrest us.
He's the dead man. He's going to feature.
That is hate speech.
That is hate speech, man. Don't do that again. Don't say that the Nigerian president is walking dead. Don't. It's hate speech. We are not. Loud Silence. We are not part of this. Augustine Owusu says you are a hero, guy. Thank you, Augustine. Lanyon John says, Kevin, what do you expect if you have the likes of Kennedy Agyapong on the committee related to media issues in our parliament? Nothing better than more tax from the telcos. Make we forget it. Lord Askia Mohammed, blackface, only problem home and abroad. People are, then now the tempers are going up now, you know. Kwabla Sapo say, good evening, Kevin. You are doing a great job. Thank you, sir. Afola Sadi Olomufe.
That's my wife.
Oh.
That's my wife. Afola Sade Olomufe. That's my heart right
Mrs. Kunle, you commented, he said, you guys are doing a great job treating this topic. God bless you. God bless you too.
Thank you, my dear.
The Kwame Tube. Now the telcos are going to transmit our electoral results, and MPP is driving the whole situation. With the telcos, we can do the same thing Ghana did with the Drop That Chamber campaign. This is coming from Kofi Tuya. I just pump in. Edward Kweku says, good work, Kevin. The price of data has increased today, and I am shocked. I salute, sir. Adadi Susie says, Kevin, you're great, and I'm proud of you. Acoustal Media says, at some point, since creation, Africans ruled this planet for quite a long time. Now, the white folks have perfected a mechanism to continue to keep Africans in a modernized economy. You know, sometimes I've been having this argument with someone for some time now about Africans, we blaming other people for some of the things that we went through 500 years, 1,000 years ago. I keep saying that it happened. It hurts. It's tough. Our ancestors were in there, our great-great-grand ancestors. So many things happen. But we've gotten to that point where we have to prove ourselves to make them proud. We don't have to keep pushing and going back to the same thing, because we can only make those people who died for us to get to this point proud by speaking up and fighting for that thing we want. So when I see people, I don't have any problem with people making references to, you know, we have allowed this to happen to us as Africans. I think it's about time we put ourselves together and be like, you know what? Some things happened. It affected us, and it's still affecting us. But we need to change it. How do we change it? We need to speak up. We need to fight the system.
You know what a great analogy to what you are saying, and many people have said this, is if you are driving a car.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people watching have ever driven a car, so please let us...
Let's not those driving a car,
if
not bicycle.
If you drive a car, you know very well that your windshield in front of you is where your eyes are supposed to be.
Yeah.
You look in the rear view mirror once in a while to be sure of what is going on behind you, so that you look in the side mirrors so that you know what's going on around you. But your full attention should be in front. And that is what Africa is lacking. Our full attention is in the rear view mirror.
The side mirrors and all that.
For many people. Looking back. If you are looking back while driving, trust me.
You're going to crash.
You're going to crash.
At this point, I just want to say that it's been a pleasure. I am very, very touched. I'm very, very honored. And all that I can say is this man has been a blessing on this show today. Kunle Olomufe.
Thank you.
People listening to us across the world, this is the new generation. This is the voice for the voiceless. This is the platform whereby we fight corruption. This is the anti-corruption platform. Here we speak truth to power. This is Loud Silence Radio. This is the radio station that gives you what you want. We put you in the seat. We try to add people listening to us to our conversation. We have come a long way. We are not here to please anybody. We are not here to victimize people. We are here to speak truth to power. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor. I am very, very, very much pleased you joining me on this show. Next week, we're going to come back with another exclusive on this network. Remember, our shows will be rolling out very soon. You'll be getting new shows coming on Loud Silence, and then we'll be telling you about these new shows. We're going to go for a short break. In fact, we are not going to go. We're done. Yeah, it's 12. Yeah,
time
we're done.
Flying. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, and today I want to say our class prefect. Every day we choose a class prefect on YouTube. When we say that our class prefect, it means the person who actually contributed, helped people to contribute. Their conversation also enabled people to contribute. We call them the class prefect. And today's class prefect is Farida Dawkins. Thank you for your support today. You have really helped the conversation. This is Loud Silence Radio. We're going to be coming back to you next week with lots and lots of news, lots and lots of facts, and lots of information. The person you're hearing is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor. I'm signing off. I don't know how to sign off, actually. I think...
with all due respect.
Where's my pen? This is how I'm going to sign off. You've been listening to Kevin Ekobedu Taylor. This was the extended version of With All Due Respect. Ladies and gentlemen, this is With All Due Respect.
Everybody has been asked one time or the other from one person or another, what's your pedigree, they say. Fame is not for free. That differentiates the people that drink tea from the people that soak it. Last I checked, we're all people.